What's up guys, welcome back. Today we're going to start clearing out this engine bay, make way for the engine. So basically the plan is get rid of anything in here that doesn't have to be in here. Like we need to get these axles out of there, the shifter cables can go, a lot of these hoses can go, this whole wiring harness needs to come out. You know, that's where it goes into the inside. Need to pull all that out. The AC compressor, the power steering pump, all these hoses all need to come out. I'm gonna try, well, I want to keep my AC, keep my power steering, you know, because I want this to be a nice, comfortable ride. I don't want to be cruising this car around in the middle of summer. It's over 100 degrees, you know, just sweating to death and having a miserable drive. You know, I want it to be a nice, comfortable drive. And I also don't want to throw my shoulder out trying to turn this thing into a parking spot. So, so we're going to try and keep the power steering, keep the AC, but we'll figure that all out later. Because I really hate how the AC lines come up over the shock tower. So I want to figure out if I can reroute them, you know, to follow these lines, or maybe even come down and go underneath this frame rail. But that's way later. This fuse box, I think I'm actually going to keep this fuse box because everything in here is actually for accessories. You know, headlights, taillights, fog lights, you know, the radiator fans, you know, just all that. I think this 30 amp is the only one that actually is for the engine. Everything else is for the accessories, so I'll probably just keep this fuse box, and that way we don't have to mess with any wiring for, you know, the headlights, fog lights, anything. You know, this will still act like it's an Eclipse. And then for the engine, I'm actually getting a whole Evo 8 complete wiring harness and an Evo 8 ECU, and so the engine hopefully will think that it's in an Evo and we won't have any electrical issues. But with this fuse box, you know, it's really bright. I don't know if you can see, all the wiring comes down through here, and it actually comes out underneath here. So I think I may just relocate the fuse box underneath here, and that'll get it out of the engine bay and make it a bit cleaner, because I would like it to be pretty clean in here. So anyways, enough with the jabbering. I'm gonna get to work on tearing everything out of here. First I'm gonna get rid of this middle motor mount brace. You know, we're not gonna be able to use it. It's actually in the way for where the transmission and transfer case are gonna go. We may end up modifying it to make it work with the engine, but we'll see. But we're gonna get it out, and then I can get up in there and start taking everything out from inside the engine bay. Alright, next I'm going to work on getting this AC pump off and this power steering pump off. Now when you're going to take your AC off, make sure you drain out the Freon properly. Don't just release it to the atmosphere. It's bad for the environment. But more importantly, Freon has a sweet smell and apparently like a sweet taste. And animals love it. But it's deadly, so you don't want them licking up any Freon off of the ground or anything, so just evacuate it properly. Now the AC lines connect to the pump here with just these two 10mm bolts. Take those off, the lines will come off the pump. And then where the lines go into the firewall right there, there's two more 10mm, and you can disconnect the lines from the firewall. And then there's just random 10mm throughout holding the lines on, and you can pull it all off. Alright, looks like this high pressure line comes down and goes into this cylinder here. But where it goes in, can't get a view. There's a 10mm right there. And I'll take that top off of it. Alright, for this power steering pump, we'll take this big old bolt off of this banjo bolt there, and then this line we can just disconnect here at the reservoir with the little hose clamp right there. Well, this banjo bolt is super seized up, like all rusty, crusty. I can't for the life of me get that off. So I'm just gonna follow the line up here and take it from this fitting here. I just unbolt it here and just take that whole line with the pump. It's starting to look a little more clear. Got the power steering reservoir out of there. Got some of these lines off. This one and the small one here. See, that small one goes from that little cylinder here. They go down to the condenser here, but they both bolt in right here. So go ahead and take those off, and then we'll be able to get these out of there. All right, this line here, that goes to the power steering, wraps all the way around, goes to the power steering rack. These two lines are part of the evap system. They just come through here and they actually go down into the charcoal canister and stuff under here. And then this line is also power steering. That comes down, goes out, and I guess this is the power steering cooler. just this pipe comes out the front, circles around, goes back, and that would be it for over there. I'm really liking there not being anything over here. Like if this was just like this bracket was gone and this was all shaved smooth, man, that would look good. But I guess I'm gonna at some point have to make a choice. Do I want this engine bay to look nice and clean and simple, or do I want to drive around in comfort? That's a big decision. So let's get these axles out of here. Alright, as you guys saw, that was a huge pain. Everything is super rusty and seized up. Like, I seriously had to beat the crap out of it to get it all to come apart. But we got it out. Only bad part is I still have to do that side. But I think I've embarrassed myself enough. I'll do that side off camera. So what's next? We got the shifter cables, and we still got this wiring harness. But you know, those would be a lot easier to get out if the dash wasn't in. And I have a black dash that I'm gonna be changing out. Next video. Yeah. So if you haven't seen the previous video, you can hit that link up here. Check out the next video, you can hit that link up here. And if you're enjoying the videos, maybe hit that subscribe down here. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one.